Within my life as an Indigenous Two-Spirit youth, the most controversial act I've ever committed was being myself. This act has led to inner realizations regarding my identity, challenged the ideas of those with colonized mindsets, and created change within tribal communities. I created change when I was 16 years old and began dancing at powwows in a style traditionally performed only by women. Indigenous people today live within cultures of tradition. It is the foundation of who we are as people. Yet some can use traditions to gain leverage over others, to exclude others from tradition. Two-Spirit people in the recent past have been kicked out of our powwow circle. Powwows are our opportunity to give thanks, to reunite as people, and through our dances, we show the world what we are thankful for. Now, this differs greatly, the exclusion of Two-Spirit people, from what Indigenous people, including the Narragansett, the traditional people of this place, the people that live at the corner of the land between the waters. The Narragansett people traditionally believe that two spirits are sacred. For two spirits connect not only with the masculine or the feminine, but that which exists in between. Two spirits understand the great spectrum that it connects all of creation and brings us back to that sacred circle with no end and no beginning that follows all of us through life and death and life again. I began my journey when I was 16, but I was born biologically male. I danced in the traditional style of my father as an Eastern war dancer. Yet, after coming out as Two-Spirit, I decided to dance in the traditional style of my mother, fancy shawl. Now, the fancy shawl dance is a modern dance. People today view Native Americans as something that existed once before, that we were something that is of history, that is no longer of concern to us today. Yet we are a people that have persevered and continued on. We have existed throughout the hundreds of years of forced assimilation and genocide that was put upon our people. And we are an evolving culture. The fancy shawl dance was created during the women's rights movement. And through this dance, women altered the common traditions of the people across intertribal communities. Instead of dancing to a slow beat close to the Mother Earth, they were lifting their feet high, floating on their toes. And the dance evolved quickly and became more and more flamboyant and beautiful. Those original women that danced this fancy shawl dance persevered in the face of the powers at play. So this dance is a dance of liberation, not just for me, but for the entire LGBT community. And for that reason, I have gone out and danced in the face of those that feel that I should not, to bring us back to our traditional way. For us evolving as a people is really more like taking a step backwards and remembering who we truly are. When I began to dance, I did so in what seemed like isolation. A small community of support existed around me, but when I went out into my tribal community to dance in a way that my heart asked, I felt naked and alone. And when I was at that most vulnerable moment, when I was ready to give up on dance, the thing that I had worked on over a year, changing the way that I stood, working to be graceful so that hopefully I could float like my mother once did. And suddenly, when I was about to give it all up, an overwhelming abundance of love and support came into my world. And as I continued to dance, more and more faces joined the circle to show our world what is right. That the colonists that arrived on our shores are not who we are, and that those beliefs are not the beliefs of our people. I found my strength in those allies. For before, I thought I was alone. And yet suddenly I realized that unity is a great gift from the Creator. The unity that love brings between people is something that cannot be replaced. Negativity can only bring about dissonance, and stagnation is our true enemy. Yet, as I danced, and more people came into my world voicing their love and support despite what the minority said, I found my power, and I found that love. Indigenous people today live within cultures of tradition. It is the foundation of who we are as a people. Yet, even with tradition, we can change and evolve and grow like the great celestial tree that unites all creation. If I was not dancing in this way that spoke to my heart, my dance would be empty. It would be a lie, not only to myself, but to the world. My dance has not only given me the gift of joy, but has filled a community that had for so long been invisible with that same hope. I can only hope that our voices are not hushed, for I have waited to hear them for so long. For when I finally heard those voices, they made a music so beautiful, I cried. I cried to relinquish my pain. I cried, for I caught a glimpse of change. I cried for those that have come before, and I cried because hopefully someone will be able to follow after. I am now more powerful than ever, yet my journey is not nearly over. But I can say that I am living my liberated truth as a two-spirit Narragansett fancy shawl dancer. Katabatash. Thank you.